Hi everyone, welcome to Floral Sussex Flower School online tutorials. Today we're talking about Vessals, which is one of my favourite subjects. It's a lovely part of the industry because basically you get to go around flea markets and just discover wonderful pottery and different sort of vessels that are available. I have quite a lot, but I've selected just a few to talk to you guys about today. It's definitely worth, I think, kind of building up a little collection, because the vessels that you put your flowers in, it will completely change your arrangement. So I would definitely recommend sort of building up a little collection. It's quite a fun thing to do. I don't put my flowers in many glass vases. I quite like all the stems to be hidden. So that's why I sort of favour other types of vessels instead. So where to begin? Let's start over here. So terracotta pots, got a lot of these. This is quite a distressed one. Just think these are great, not just for plants, but for lots of different sort of displays as well. And you know, you can create them you can make them quite big. Or just nice and rounded, but just a really nice earthy toned container, which is great for flower arranging. In terms of rules of sort of how you should create your display, your floral arrangement should be at least a third higher than your container. And that is definitely there's definitely a rule that I do abide by. Apart from bud vases, I think it's good to kind of stick to that rule. It just then, the proportions then just look better. So if I was creating in this, I would at least kind of be thinking about this height of arrangement. Same with planters, so the same kind of idea. This is, but you know, this has obviously got more detailing on, but it's still a pot. But I work with these a lot in the school, and these are great, I think, when you're just getting started as well, because they're quite a simple design. But these ones are lovely because they've actually got a print in it, so you can kind of work with the colours that are here to create something really lovely. But same shape as the first one that I showed you. Urns, got a lot of urns. This one here. This one there. So I have these in all different sizes and some absolutely huge ones. This size is probably the one that I use the most. You can create pretty big displays in here, but then I have absolutely massive ones for when I do, like, you know, weddings. But this is probably the size that I use the most. What I love about this, I have a white one over here that I use all different, you know, I have in all different sizes and use in a very similar way. But I really love the brown. I think the brown, I don't know why, maybe it's that earthy feel. Again, I just think it just seems to work with both softer colours, and when I teach my Dutch Masters class, the flowers look incredible in here. The shape is lovely. I love a vessel that has a little kind of foot to it, because it allows flowers to then cascade and droop. It's got that little height, it's just a bit off the table. It just, I just really, as sort of a floral designer, I just really love that type of look. I feel like it lends itself so well to having flowers arranged in it. I often do my urn displays, you might call them pedestal displays, in an asymmetric way. So I would have a high point up here and a low point down here, and again sort of using that side for them just to cascade off is really lovely. During the autumn, having kind of fruit branches sort of cascading off is really beautiful. In the spring, having blossom, it's just endless, and I feel like it's got enough sort of detail here to make it look pretty, but it won't deflect from the flowers themselves. So these are great. I got these ones from Easy Florist Supplies, so check them out. They do go out of stock quite a lot, so just kind of keep an eye on them. I've got a set of these ones, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I got them from, which is not particularly helpful. These are really handy though. I love they're all like miniature ones, but I think they're a lovely little Grecian. And again, I think they're so sweet. And with this particular one, I tend to just have like one big flower just hanging over the edge like this. I probably wouldn't use this just on its own, but with a collection as sort of a secondary arrangement. So having something like this to not be the focal is quite a nice little touch. In terms of glass, I have a lot of bottles. I use bottles an awful lot in my work, and again, just putting a couple of stems in there, it just, you know, it's just really simple but really pretty. I'm doing a fireplace display later, and they will just have loads and loads and loads of bottles on it, so it's really lovely just to build up your collection. This one here is an example of a vessel that I have which has a lot going on. It's really beautiful, I absolutely love it. It's from Anthropology, but it's quite a few years ago, so I don't know if they still have it in stock, but it's just absolutely lovely. I think for some people, they would probably think, well, you've got a lot going on there, so you need to keep the arrangement quite subtle, which you could do. But I think as well, as long as you draw colours out from this, so if you can see here, it's got like a lovely pink here, so maybe you could kind of, you know, have a palette of different pink tones, but you can still have a lot going on. I sort of think more the better, but you've just got to be careful that you don't, what I would say if you're using something like this, you just got to be careful that you don't maybe add in too many different colours and make sort of it look all a little bit too confusing. So I would say you can still have a big arrangement, you can still have lots of varieties, but maybe kind of stick to just one palette and bring out the colours from here. The same with this, jugs, quite like just displaying sort of like flowers from the greengrocers. You know, if I'm going to the greengrocers, I've got a lovely greengrocers here in Hesper Point, and they sell lovely tulips. I've got some ranunculus at the moment. So if I just bought a bunch of yellow tulips, or kind of orangey ones here, I would literally just stick them in something like this. Because I don't particularly want to see the stems, not really that fussed. But you know, this is all about the jug. The design of it is really beautiful, and just to have like one colour of a flower coming out will just make it look really lovely. So, and one more. This is again sort of part of that series of the brown, but this is a much lower down vessel, and for something like this you would have to use chicken wire or a frog pin. If you go to the talk about different types of mechanics that you can use as opposed to a floral foam, you'll see how you can display using something like this. So if you've got something that's really shallow, you're not going to be able to just put flowers in because they'll just keep falling out, or you'll end up with a big hole in the middle if you do manage to get them in. So you definitely need some sort of mechanic in there to hold them in place. But this is one that I use a lot as well. So that is a selection of the ones that I sort of go to quite a lot. I hope you enjoyed that, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.